Well, good evening, everyone. And I think it's working tonight. I didn't bugger up. I was panicky last night, everybody. And here it is. It's Tuesday night, and I've gone home, and I'm feeling a little bit sad. And sorry for feeling sad a couple of days in a row. It's just bullshit, isn't it? You know, I loved that kid. And I know that a lot of you are grannies and you love your kids too. I know that. And bloody hell, Bev, you've got yours with you today. They got the ferry. How did they go? Getting over to you. And bloody hell, Bev, mine's gone. Mine's gone back to Queensland, and I'm feeling, I feel really sad, and I miss them, Loretta. And you've got Ava up there at the moment. I know. I'm jealous of that. I'm jealous of all of you that have your grandkids close by. Margaret Bell, g'day, Cal. You've got yours close by. Nice to see you come on. I'm having a prosecco actually. I've been in the car all day. Hello, Liz Ball. How are you, darling? Well, I've got the old prosecco out because she doesn't like me drinking too much, and we nearly had the blue, but we didn't. We nearly had the blue, me and Case, but I miss her. And Jennifer's on. Hi, Jennifer. How are you, darling? Gorgeous. Now, everyone, little Jennifer's on holidays. I know that. And, oh, Bev Anderson's grandkids are with her now. They got the ferry over. And Di's got her grandkids all around her. Oh, they make you happy. Margaret's got all 5 of hers are in Queensland. Shit, Margaret Bell, you haven't seen them for 2 years, darling. Not good enough. Brenda, how are your grandkids going? You're up and about, dull and cool. Hey, Brenda Hilton, let's get on a roll here. Brenda Hilton, when are you booking that flight? Have you had a look at the prices? Now, what you do is you shop around, Dull. Cheers to grandchildren, everybody, and they make our day. I've only got one, but God, I love her. I loved being on my own with her. Oh, Bev's got 2 more coming tomorrow and the next one on Friday, you guts. Oh, look, and Karen's there with Jennifer, and you've all got your kids around you as well, and I miss them. Marie Shaw's on. How are you, darling? Oh, I loved your eyebrows, love. You got your little Austin nearby, and Lyndon, and she's got 2 4 hours away. No bloody different to me, Lyndon. They can be 4 hours or 1 hour. It is the same, and you do miss them. And mine's a 2 hour flight, and I booked that bloody flight for October. And I said to her, Granny's booked the flight for your birthday, and Lynn Parker's got her grandkids all around her all the time. And I know we all love them, and I miss them. G'day, Cheryl, Ralph, because we don't get to see them, and then once we get to see them all the time, they get tired. So there's a happy medium, and I know that. But the bottom line is, listen to this, little Jennifer Houghton. We bloody love our kids, and we bloody love our grandkids. And we love them no matter what, and they're always the best. And I'm going to say, Jennifer, you listen to this, because you know what? You're irreplaceable, you children, and we love you no matter what. And us berries, I'm going to tell you, all of our little babies are so advanced in every bloody way. And Lynn Parker's been with hers today, so she'll be tired. She's got 4 littlies, and they are beautiful kids, but they tire her out, and I understand that, because Lynn's a bit older than me as well. But you know, I loved having that 2 days on my own. Oh, what's Benidorm, Brenda, for October? Well, maybe you could come earlier or later. Just see when the cheap. Now, Brenda Hilton, this is what I would do if I was you. I would look for the cheap flights and see when they are, and just come in that time, honestly, and go down to a travel agent and see what they can do, and see if we can get you out here, because we can't make. Oh, she's going to Spain in October. Well, I've got an idea, Brenda. You go to Spain and then you come from Spain to Australia. Why not? Do the bloody lot, love. And Jennifer is full of smiles, and so she should be, because she's one of our very special little berries, is our Jennifer, because her artwork is something to behold. And we are so proud of you, darling. And by the way, I still use that bloody pen you sent me, doll. Used it today. And yep, so and I hope mum's doing all right. Karen McEwen's in Maroopna. What are you doing in Maroopna, darling? Have you got relatives in Maroopna? Do you know the Skinners in Maroopna? They used to have the hardware store there, because I know them. So there you go. And you must have family there. Are you, because you're on holidays, Karen, so you can get around, darling. So that's good to see. Good to see everyone's out and about. Vicky Ross is on. G'day, sweetie. How are you? And the youngest 14 on Sunday, another 12 on the 16th, and twins in Geelong the 7th. God, you've got birthdays all around you, Lynn Parker. And Faye Watson, where have you been, doll? You've missed out on nothing with me. I've been the most boring, upset shit you've ever come across, and I've got to get me mojo back. And Jenny Blaze are coming on. You're all helping me. And Jenny's going to Hawaii. Don't forget the photos. I lived my life through everyone's photos, by the way. And Joanne's on. I had to ring her last night, didn't I, Joanne, because of the Sydney floods. It was a real bloody worry, and she wasn't on. And I worry about her. But, you know, now, how's it going, by the way, Joanne? Give us an update, please. Lyndon, the roads were quiet. Trip to the airport, really quiet. It's a cost of fuel. Everything at cost of fuel, interest rates. Yep, the world's going to shit. So cheers, world. And I miss that little kid already. I really do. I really do, actually. That 2 days on our own was fantastic. And I slept with her and everything. And she slept and she ate whatever she wanted. Which, guess what she loves? The Granny's blue craft cheese. You know, the blue craft cheese. So there you go. That's what we love. Blue craft cheese and crackers, she calls them. I call them biscuits. It must be a different thing to say these days, I tell you. And, oh, good on you, Vicky Ross. You enjoy. And then I found out, oh, it's going to be hard for all of us. I know, Virginia, and you're a bloody nurse and a dental nurse. I've got two broken teeth. I need them pulled out, love. Can you come down and pull them out for me? She had a great time, Cheryl. My house feels very empty, Jenny. You are correct. And you're on a trip with your sisters. Good on you. And Joanne is just saying how terrible it is, by the way. That's my concern, is these bloody things that are happening at the moment. You poor buggers. That bloody gives me the shits. I'm bringing up your things now. Still bloody terrible. So much water. Oh, and everyone, Joanne's home alone, and she's home alone, and Dave's having to stay with friends so he can get to work. No, we love you, Joanne, and I know you're not sleeping. You never do. I don't sleep when Bruce isn't here either. Oh, Jesus, I wish we could just change it all. And, you know, I was watching Samantha Armitage today, and she said, yep, and you watch next year, it'll be a drought. And she's so right. And I love that Karen Houghton has just put something really cute on, saying blue craft cheese is the best. Well, my family thinks so. Oh, God. Is that true, Vicky Ross, that lots of businesses are closed? I think that we're in trouble. The whole world's in trouble at the moment, and yeah, it's a sad place. It really is. But if we have children that are doing well and grandchildren that are doing well, I suppose, and a $5.99 bottle of Prosecco stuff, bloody. I hope you've got one, Lyndon O'Keefe, and I hope you've got one, Lynn Parker. And what about you, Di McPhee? Have you got one? Ah, it's awful for them. I know. And I did ring Joanne last night because I was worried about her. And you know, I slept with her, but I've slept with Kelly Robinson now too. Oh, Vic, patience and a sense of humour. Well, in our lives, I'm going to say we've all been through recessions. We've all been through bad times. We really have. And, you know, I don't know about you guys, but when we first got married and Lorraine bought our house, we built a house and it was about 13, 12 squares. Now that's a unit. Oh, it was a little bit bigger than a unit, but it's good enough for us. And I thought we had the flashiest house. Oh, it was beautiful. And Bruce had a truck and he would go to work. And I remember we started off with two deck chairs in the lounge room. No, the sling ones, two of them. That was our chairs. And I think in the kitchen we had nothing. We didn't have a table or anything. We just had a couple of stools at the bar. And we had one double bed. And I think the other beds we ended up getting were second hand. We didn't have the new stuff. And I still remember he'd go to work and he had a truck on the main road. He earned good money and he'd ring me. Oh, I'll never forget it. And he rang me up and he said, oh, I'm having a good week, Lynn. Go and buy some carpet for the house. Oh, my God, it's pink. So I went off and I was a bit different. I've always been a little bit left of centre, living in Geraldton. And we went off and I got pink carpet and I had blue and pine kitchen and I have navy a navy blue in and what color was it? Navy blue and like sandstone in the bathroom. Oh God, I was flash. And we got carpet and then he'd have another good trip and he'd go buy a lounge suite, Lynn. Banana chairs. That's it, Cheryl. There you go. Callie's first house was 10 squares and she had 4 kids. And that's what happens. And you know what? An old farmer said to me once when we had the pub, he said, you know what? We do everything back to fun. When we have the kids, we have the shitty little old house. That's all we can afford. And by the time we can afford the flash house, the kids have left home. And you know how true that is, everybody. How true is it? And here are us sitting in a house that's too big for us. Yeah. Used to get petrol for nothing, so you drove to Melbourne from Ballarat to get free feeds. That's what it was like. And you know what? We got through it. And everything we got was flash. God, I made curtains for the house. Oh, I did. I made them out of sheets. Yes, and I went down to Target because there was a Target in Geraldton and the sheets were the same color as the brickwork because over there a lot of the houses aren't they're double brick and they don't actually have plaster, so it was a creamy, not a creamy brick, a yellowy brick. So I just got them to match. Oh, and I made curtains. That was so flash. And then I got pregnant, as we all did, didn't we? And you know what, Virginia, they were happy days. And when you first get married and you're in love, you know, and it's so exciting. You're setting up a house together, aren't you? And you know, I don't think of those days very often, but I think having a grandchild's making me think of those days at the moment. And we've all been through it. Bruce was actually on a really good income, but we bought everything. I remember our loan for the house was $27,000, I think it was. And I thought, we'll never pay this off. Never, ever will we pay that loan off. What do they have now? $1 million? That's it, Vic. You have a big house that's half closed off with 2 of you in it. And that's about us too. So, you know, we use a lounge room each because we watch different things on TV. And I've got clothes in one of them. But those days when you get your first home and you're really getting a life together, it's very exciting. And it wasn't about stuff. It was so exciting to get those things. And we, you know, it probably took us 2 years to get everything that we wanted. I remember being pregnant over there with Casey, and I went through a summer and we didn't have an air conditioner. We hadn't bought an air conditioner. You know how hot the girls in Geraldton say it gets, Loretta? Gets to like 45 degrees. Well, I'll never forget it. This day, no aircon, and it was like 45 degrees, and I was so hot. And I said to Bruce, I'm so hot, I've got to have a cold shower. It was horrible in the house. And I hopped in the shower and the water came out of the tap hot and I cried. I still remember that. Now, you wouldn't put up with it, would you? I think I went to my sister-in-law's house and I sat in her house to try and cool off. It was awful. And now, but that's just a given, isn't it? The aircon. But no, it was a big deal to get an aircon, as it was for all of us, these things that were big deals, but we appreciated it. So with the shit that's going on now, I think there's going to be generations that haven't been through this and are going to really feel it. But we have to remind ourselves that we've all been through things like that. So there you go. So there you go, Vic. Lots of nights sitting amongst paint pots and plaster and 8 months pregnant. Yeah, and takeaway Chinese was real flash because we didn't go out for meals in those days either. You know, I'd go down to the supermarket and buy everything on special and cook. I love cooking, which was real good. And Bruce hate going out. Going out for us would be if you were lucky to a countery. Yeah, yeah. Oh, wow. Still is. We still don't do it. I've got home we've been in a car for nearly 6 hours today. So I got home and I pulled some chops out of the freezer. I thought it's chops and salad tonight. I might put some potato gems in the cooker. But we've all been through this and we have to remind ourselves, and we do remind ourselves of what's important, and it is our families. It is our kids. It is our grandkids. It is our friends. It's all the people around us. They're the ones that are important, not stuff. In fact, I think when you get older, you realise the stuff really doesn't bloody matter at all. When you're younger, you do need some stuff to start a family, like a cot, you know, stuff like that, you know, decent sheets. And now we can have all those things and we go, well, we don't need. One thing the kids don't have is the crystal cabinet. Now, do you all have a crystal cabinet? Now, I do have a crystal cabinet still, lots of Christmas things in it. Things in it that my kids just won't want because they don't have crystal cabinet. And Vicky's going off to the RSL for tea. Well, I hope you enjoy it, Vic. Sounds good. I wish I was there. I'd come to the RSL with you, actually. Sounds really nice. And you've got a crystal cabinet, Lyndon, and it's got all your treasures in it from your granny and your mum. And my kids don't want the stuff in the crystal cabinet. Do you find? We looked after the stuff in the crystal cabinets, didn't we? And now no one wants it. Oh, are you in Marimbula, Vicky Ross? Good on you. I haven't been there since I went there with Shirl. I hope the weather's nice. I hope it's not too wet. And Jenny Blaze is going to Bendigo and looking after your grandson. You enjoy that. No, they won't want it, will they? 10 cents got 5 potatoes, Cheryl Ralph. Well, I tell you what, I love me spuds, and we all lived on chips, and Tasha's come on. And where the bloody hell have you been, my Kasha? Now tell me, have you got COVID again? Just checking. You put 3 tests on. I thought she's bloody got COVID again, the little bugger. You're a guts for COVID. And you've got one, see, and Brenda's got a crystal cabinet. I'm going to say, Brenda, that in England, you guys have the real old stuff. We only go back 200 years. And I love watching that. Oh, what is it, that show about Antique Roadshow? I love that. And Karen Houghton's got a china cabinet that was handed down from her mum. Yeah. And an 120-year-old Bible. You know what? The family Bibles are the best. It's got your family tree. Kasha, you're a gut. She's got the Rona. How crook are you, love? And you still have yours. And Joanne loves her beautiful china. And I do love a cup of tea out of nice china. I agree with you, love. And And Marie's got the cupboard full of. Now listen here, I've still got the Noritake dinner set that Bruce's uncle Mac, who never married, bought everyone a Noritake dinner set when they got married. God, that was flash, and it's still there in all. I wonder if it's worth any money. Probably not, but it's been sitting there now for nearly 40 years, and we haven't even used it. So there you go. Oh, and you've got the Bible. I tell you what, they're the things worth keeping, the things about family. And you know damn well I've got the books about it. Not too wet, but not too warm. You had to go and buy a comforter for the bed, Vic. That's what happens. And Callie Robinson earned $58 in her first pay packet. Oh my God, you were rich. I worked in a bank, Cal. Yes, and I still remember. And Bev Anderson's friend, I worked with her in the bank. And we have a few girls I worked with come on. And David King has gone from being Liz Ball to David King. And she's got her mum's cabinet. And Cheryl Ralph's got her mother's. But do our kids want them? Not a help. Are they still worth a couple of hundred, Lyndon? Well, there you go. If I get desperate, I'll have to sell it. Yes, that's it, Joanne. They don't want the whole crap. But we were brought up, that the crystal cabinet was that had the treasures, Brenda. Now, you have the treasures because I've seen Antiques Roadshow, right? Brenda has a 50-year-old tea set and she's never used it. That's what we did. We need to use these things, don't you reckon? I tell you what, but you know what? That's what happens, that we have learned to treasure different things, that the kids will get by, interest rates going up and life's getting tough. But it actually, I think it makes us grow up and it is, you know what? If you don't have this is the truth. Oh, Cheryl Ralph, she was on a good wicket. She got $17 a week at 15. God, and what you could buy with $17. But it just, I tell you what, I think if you didn't have bad times, and we've all been through hard times with our marriages growing up, we've had the deaths, we've had everything by the time you get to our age. And if you didn't have bad times, you wouldn't smile at the good times, you wouldn't appreciate the good times as much. You got the cookie jar with the animals on it and the plaited handle. Please, hey, this is what we should. I've got another idea. For the Love Your Guts apron page, everyone, let's put a photo of one of our treasures out of our crystal cabinets on the page and see what we've got. Now, I do have one of those casserole dishes. The blue and white one, they're not worth enough. See, it has to be the ugly one. Well, I think Bruce's mum had them and they chucked them out. Yeah. So David King earned $12.26 for a fortnight. Oh, Cheryl Ralph, I had a walking doll. I got it the year I woke up with the measles of Santa. I woke up on Christmas Day and I had the measles, and I still remember it. And the walking doll had yellow legs, not the same colour skin on the legs as the body. I think, you know what, Mum did have that doll, and I know it's probably gone into her grave because none of us really wanted Mum's dolls, unfortunately. They're probably worth a fortune now, and we threw them in. We landfilled the grave. So there you go. How did we survive, Kelly? Well, we did. So will this generation. They will survive. And we say houses are too dear. They can't afford this. They can't afford that. Well, you know what? I remember that happening in 1983. I got married and we were having a bit of a recession then. And I remember the price of everything had gone up because we'd had the oil shock of the 70s. And they were saying then how dear everything was and how big our housing loans were. So don't worry too much. The kids will survive. And you have your baby Chrissy doll, Karen Houghton. Oh, I remember them, but I was a bit older than you, so I had a Teary Deary from Mattel. Did anyone else have a Teary Deary? They're about this big, and you gave it a bottle and it cried and weed. Oh, I love me Teary Deary. So we still got Christmas presents. We still survived, and they will now. Yeah. So there you go. You wonder what you did with your money. Probably bought food. Oh, before you got married, I remember buying a caftan, and I remember going to Melbourne and going to Handicrafts of Asia. Oh, I love that shop. Patchouli oil. Oh, I loved it. And spent. You had a teary deary, and you had a Thumbelina. Oh, Liz Ball, you were spoiled. I loved my teary deary until the kid next door gave it soap. And Lyndon had a Tressie doll whose hair grows. Did you? You really wanted a Barbie. I never got a Barbie either. I got a Tammy doll off my auntie Marg that you all know now. You got a teary deary. Hey, Kelly, I think I've still got my teary deary. Mum's got it in a box out there. And they were called Tiny Tears. Same thing, Brenda. And they were really little, actually. Cost a fortune. They were Mattel. Do you remember? I remember wanting to win one. And then I woke up Christmas Day and Santa had left me a teary deary. Unlike Liz Ball, she got a bloody Thumbelina as well. And Faye Wasson had a Chrissy doll, and Lyndon had one that grew hair, but she wanted a Barbie. We never get over those things, Lyndon, do we? And you wanted a Cabbage Patch, and you never got it. Well, Casey got a Cabbage Patch called Madge. I wish we still had Madge. I think she cut Madge's hair. I cut all my dolls' hair. You got yours for Christmas too. And you had a ballerina Barbie. Oh, Karen Houghton, you were just too spoiled. Listen to this, Jennifer. Your mother got everything she wanted. Yes. Not like us. I got a Tammy doll instead of a Barbie, and poor old Lyndon got a Tressie. Sure it wasn't Chrissy instead of a Barbie. We've never recovered. You had to press a button on it. Oh, I think I remember seeing those, and it just came out a hole, didn't it? And they were so advanced. Cheryl had one too, Cheryl Ralph. And Lou's on Lou Green, and she cut all the hair off and then switched. Oh my God, Lou, you switched their heads. No, I never did that. But I tell you what, I did. You know how you cut the hair off and it never grew? Oh, look. And Jenny Blaze has still got her dolls. Now, is there anyone that's still got all of their dolls? I worry about you. Oh, here we go. We have got Virginia's asking Lou when to cut back her salvias. Good on ya. I don't know what you mean by that. Oh, and you had a walking doll, and each year your mum had new hair put on it. You were spoiled. So you got to cut its hair once a year. Oh, and you thought she was brand new. I didn't know Barbie's heads were interchangeable, Lou. So you could have had a dark brown Barbie with a white head, or vice versa. Oh, is that a flowering Virginia hen? See, we're getting back. Oh, hey, Bev, you know I can only grow dried flower arrangements and those trees that Kev lives in. So there you go. Didn't they come with replacement hair, Kasha? Nothing came with replacement hair. Now, listen, Cash, you're a little bit younger than some of us, and you've got more. You like the cabbage. They didn't have them in my day. Oh, no, but I did love my dollies. I did. And I had one that, because I was the blonde daughter and my sister was the dark daughter. Okay. So Vicky was really dark and I'm really fair. So for Christmas, I still remember the dollies. Vicky got one that was brown, a little baby doll, plastic thing. And I got one that was white. No prejudice in our family, I tell you. You didn't have a bride doll. Oh, to go, Lyndon. So it was a doll hospital in Geelong. It's pulled again. Oh, that is so bloody funny. Oh, Bev Anderson's got a Jerry G doll. I bet you they're worth a fortune. Now, don't laugh, everyone. Oh, there you go. Oh, I know. Aren't we funny? Oh, Kelly's going to eat. See, Cal, what are you having for tea tonight? We're having chops and salad because I just got out of the car. Vicky had a Cindy doll. No, I never had a doll that's hair grew. I cut all their hair. The Cindy doll was like a cheap Barbie doll. My Auntie Marg gave it to me. I know, Lyndon. So, a snowy Polish winter. It was a life-size doll. Your mum had a life-size doll. That is so cute. No, I don't remember Wombles. Do you? Oh, Kasha, that's funny. So your mum bought you the biggest doll she could buy. Yeah. And Lou has her son's Pokemon cards. Hey, do you know what? Jessie had them. Mum had them all somewhere, Pokemon. And I don't know what happened to it. He had a heap of them. I bet we threw them out. That's the sort of thing we did. We moved enough that we threw all the... Oh, you know what I had, Lou, and you would die at this. I liked computers. I was a mathsy kid. And in 1984, Bruce bought me a computer. And it was an Apple 1984. And I taught myself how to write MS-DOS just to write little programs. And I loved that computer. Now, we threw that computer out. Lou Green, it was an Apple. I can still see it now, Lou Green. I know, darling. We moved enough that we threw it out. Yep, we would have been able to retire on that bloody computer, and you would understand that. Stupid bloody me. Everything I've ever done is stupid, I tell you. Lyndon, Lou Green's a computer whiz, but you know what? I actually wish, and if I had my way again, Lyndon, I would have stayed at school. I would have studied mathematics because I loved maths. And if I had have been known that you could do computer courses, I would have done one because I was always interested, but I have no idea now. And it's something that I always regret. And so when my son, Jess, went into IT and went to your uni and met you in the library, I'm sure, then that's what I would have done. Well, but I taught myself, Lou, because no one else knew anything about them. And I only wrote really little simple things, but I did and I loved it. So there you go. Yes, Bev Anderson, a Jerry G doll, I reckon would be worth a lot, actually, a real lot. Yeah. Bev, you need to go to a dolly hospital, I reckon, to get those sorts of things repaired. And there's one in Melbourne still. I think it's in the Block Arcade. Does anyone know about that? There used to be one in James Street, I reckon, in Geelong. And I remember going there with Mum, and I think it was run by the Hospital Auxiliary or something. But it won't be there now. It's full of restaurants there now, so it's different. Anyway, how is everyone today? I hope everyone's going all right, and it's good to have a bit of fun, a bit of a chat about fun stuff for a change. We will be okay. And we will be okay. We're going to get through all this, and our kids will too. So don't worry about your kids. They'll be fine, right? Because I do get, I see, we all do worry about them, but the world belongs to them. Doesn't belong to us anymore. COVID did that. The world has changed. I know the world has changed. I've changed. I think a lot different. You just poured a drink, and me too. That's the $5.99 job that you Queenslanders can't get, you poor little buggers. And I need that because I really did enjoy having my kids here, and we didn't fight actually, so that was pretty good. We normally do. We nearly did, yeah. Oh, Lou, those floods, and we haven't got Lorraine Munro on tonight. We've got Joanne on tonight. Some of those guys in Sydney. They're just so over it. To think that it's happened 3 times, I think, this year is unbelievable, isn't it, Joanne? And some people won't be able to get the internet. Look, did you see? You see these people and their houses are underwater again. And I asked Joanne about that, didn't I, love? And you said that just down the hill from her was a new estate. Blocks of land, what were they, 600,000? People have bought these blocks of land, put houses on. It's a floodplain. And this is happening all over the place, happening in Queensland. Karen Houghton knows it happened near her. And no one's responsible. They can't get insurance and they're losing everything. And that's the sad thing. It's just bloody awful to see it on telly, really, isn't it? We're just not, to look at it these days is a sad thing. And we're really lucky. Look, honestly, where I live, we get heaps of rain. We haven't had heaps of rain this year. I reckon it's all gone up to Sydney instead of down here. But we are near the sea. And the beauty of being near the sea is the water rushes out the creeks. It just doesn't. We have a couple of places it floods and it just hangs around and goes. And, but honestly, everybody, it's bloody shit to see that it's winter. It was a summer thing, this La Nina. Do you know we will? You know what? Samantha Armitage said today that it will actually be a drought next year, and I reckon she's spot on. That's what's going to happen. And Brenda said it's raining in the UK. So I'm going to talk to you on Saturday, and I'm going to start setting up some more talks. Bring on summer, Kasha, because it's cold where you are. Oh, Lyndon, if all of us had kept some of the stuff that I moved, and I mean, if I hadn't have moved, I would still have stuff, but we moved 3 times, and when you move 3 times, you discard. Oh, you are here, Lorraine. I was worried about you. 14.2 degrees today. It's cold. If you're on holidays on the Gold Coast and like Vicky Ross said, she's had to go and buy another blanket for the bed in Merimbula because they're just not used to those cold temperatures. And I stayed on the Gold Coast once and I froze my ass off because it was like 16 and 17 degrees with no heaters because they're just not used to it. Yeah. And what's Lynn? Oh, Liz is having a Prosecco just like me, love. Yeah, we're the cheapies, you know that. Yeah, Liz, apparently my cousin was telling me in Sydney that they wanted to make the dams higher to keep the water in, but people were against it. Oh, my God. Lynn Parker. She's got Noddy Big Ears and Mr. Plod puppets. Oh, my God. They'd be amazing. And Kasha had the heating on today during the day and never on during the day. That's how cold it is where they are too. So the weather's gone crazy. It's probably better where I am, to be honest, where I am here than for all of you. So, oh man, it's amazing what we've got in our cupboards. You think about it, everybody. Go and get your Corningware out now. Mine's white and blue. It's not worth as much, but I still use that casserole dish. When I got married, that was the main thing that we got as wedding presents. I reckon I got 50 casserole dishes from 100 people. And glasses. Yeah. You were spoilt, Lynn Parker. Well, I'm going to say you would have been deserved to be spoilt because you're a bloody good chick. Yeah, you are. And it's funny when you get on and talk about what it was like because we're all the same. She does rock that, Lynn Parker. Oh, Tasha's got 25-year-old Bessemer. Get it out, girl. That was your mama's. Get it out. And the uglier the pattern, apparently, the more it's worth. Okay. Sam Armitage was on what was she on? Instagram, Lorraine, and that was her comment. And I thought, how true, darling. We'll have a bloody drought next year. Oh, you poor thing. Lorraine, has it stopped raining where you are? because Joanne's Dave still isn't at home. And I saw Jan Purcell. She's given up on her pool. It's green. 10 k's away, it was flooding from her. Quite well, yeah, it wasn't cold today. But I'm hot. Bruce has turned the heater on, and I get hot as hell. You've used them for a solid 20. They're really good, aren't they? That's the thing. Well, you should go and look them up and see how much they're worth, my darling. Sue Egan's, come on, g'day, darling. I was up your way today. How are you, honey? And I hope you had a good day too. I'm as hot as hell. Brucey boy's got me in here, and we've just been talking about all of our treasures. I bet you got a Barbie doll when you were a kid. I only got a Tammy. Still haven't got over it. Did you have a teary deary too, Sue? Because a lot of us got teary dearies in the day. Oh, I tell you what, Bev, Brenda, just remember that she was the hippie in the 60s in England. And I keep thinking about this with you, love. And I keep thinking that Brenda, chicken legs. Yum, Karen H. I don't mind a chicken leg, and they're cheap and they're yum, and I eat them all the time. And don't, Brenda, you would have had the best clothes, because Brenda worked in a factory as a seamstress, plus she was a hippie. So she loved, the Rolling Stones and the Beatles. And I think, Brenda, every time I think about you, I think, oh my God, she lived through that in England. Oh my God. Can't wait to get you out here, Brenda. So you're famous. You are a famous berry from England. So there you go. You're all bloody gorgeous. And don't forget, book the airfare. You didn't have one. Oh, Sue, you were deprived, love. The rest of it. Where some of the girls even had dolls that grew hair. Might just cut mine off. Yep, Kesha, Brenda is the bloody real deal. We're going to get her here and make her famous. You're our famous berry, and we've got to tell everyone how bloody gorgeous you are. And don't forget to come. Just because your sister's going to Spain, she can do both. And Liz Ball, she'll know when to come out, don't you reckon? Oh, shit, Liz, it was -1 this morning. Got up this morning and I thought, right, this is what I do every morning. Bruce has put some sand out the back under the trees. So I go out every day to see how Kev is. Now, Kev has been there nearly all week, munching away on the leaves that aren't gum leaves, by the way. He wasn't there. So Am went, and so did he. I thought, he's upset because my little Am's gone. He's gone. Oh, I said to Am every day, do you want to come and see Kev the koala? And she said, no, Granny, I've seen him. It's only Bruce and I that get excited about Kev the koala. The little kids, they've had enough. And they took her out to Wildlife Wonders for a cup of coffee, and there's emus out there. Well, I don't want to see a bloody emu because I'm scared of birds and they're too big, too big for me. And did you have a good time? Oh, it was all right, but she'd rather be with me. They are funny, Bev, don't they say funny things? But we had 2 great days together. And, I took that kid to Kmart. And Casey said, oh, you got no money, Mum? And I said, I don't bloody care. This kid's worth it. I see her, 4 times a year. I don't see her once a month or anything. And I know that all you grannies, like Bev Anderson bought all her chockies when she was in Adelaide. And we all do that to our grandchildren, but I don't see her enough. So I'm allowed to spoil her a little bit more. And we only go to Kmart and buy Hey, do you know about LOL dolls? All the little girls love these LOL dolls. So she got 2 LOL dolls, a little Barbie for her Barbie camper van. She said she likes the Barbie houses. And then she got a dog. So that's what she got. It's blowing a gale, Lorraine said. You're in bed with the electric blanket on. Oh, you poor darling, Lorraine. So everyone, Lorraine is on her own at home in this weather, and it's getting you down, sweetheart, isn't it? So, Lyni, you better come and stay at your place when I come up to see Janine Amory, who has a visa. Yeah. And that is our job, Lyndon, and you do it too. And it's the little things like we made those brownies Joanne, that I bought. See, I went to the chocolate place in Torquay with Joanne, and I bought this tray, and they had everything to make chocolate brownies. And we made them, and they were yummy. And I was really naughty on my diabetic stuff in the last few days. Like I had Macca's for lunch today. I've been a bit naughty, so I have to get right on it after this and get back to being a good girl. But gee, they were nice. I tell you, if you go to that chocolate place, just buy it was $16 for the tray, and it had everything to make the brownies. You added butter and eggs. They were yum, because I don't like a lot of them. How come you lost me, Kasha? You made Smartie cookies, Bev. Well, I'll tell you what. Can you still buy Smarties, or do you buy M&Ms these days? And yeah, that's exactly. And Lyndon, don't you love bringing something out of your bag for them? Like, does it? Oh, g'day, Sue. How are you, darling? And Sue's going to meet Brooklyn tomorrow on the Gold Coast. Are you going to, Kasha? That's what I love to see with our group. I loved it. I saw Lyndon and Margaret and Sheza out and about with Joanne the other night. And, oh, God, I love to see that. We really are a bit of a pen friend group, and I really do need help. If you know anyone that knows how to help on these things, I have contacted someone that knows, that told me to do this. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Oh, yes, that's what you. Oh, she can't come the first week in August. That's all right, David King, because you're going to be here. So that probably works out really well, actually. And I'll just have to send her a message. That's better. But she needs to tell me the date. You know why? Airfares are like everyone that wants to come and meet Janine Amory in Sydney. I saw airfares today like $40 each way from Avalon. And I thought, that's what I need, a $40 each way. It's $80 return, but I need to know. I want to book it. I'm bloody staying with you, Lorraine. I can't tell you, because I love you. She knows I do. She's like a bit of a mum figure to me, I reckon. And what are you going to do? Who are you going to drop in and see? I've missed it. I've missed what you're saying. You're being bossy. Oh, the Jeanette. I thought you'd been talking to her. Well, get on and send her a message and be bossy, Liz Ball. You're a nice, bossy person. I like nice, bossy persons, not people that are awful, bossy persons. Yeah. Really? You can't get a passport for Bali? Oh, it's only early days, Sue, so please don't panic. Just one thing at a time, love. That's what you have to do. But if you can't come to Bali, you can come to Sydney. So look at it that way. You can do other stuff. But just persevere and don't panic. Okay, Sue Stevens, because the more you panic about all this, the more it won't happen. But if you're having trouble getting a passport, there's probably people to help you get through all the hoops. And once you've got it forever. And that's the thing about passports. Don't ever let them go out of date. I think you can renew a passport up to 12 months after they go out of date easily. After that, you have to start again. Just work through it slowly, Sue. One thing at a time, okay? Not everything at once, one thing at a time. And you shouldn't have major issues, because they will have all the paperwork that is needed for you. So don't worry. Brenda got one, and it took her ages. She had to jump through a few hoops and prove that she wasn't born in Poland, didn't you, Brenda? Oh, God. Anyway, everyone, I've had a bit of a talk about dolls tonight. Why not? Life's going to be all right. Some days I think it is, and some days I don't. And we're all the same, aren't we? Some days we're good and some days we're not. And I wasn't good when I got home, and the house is really quiet. But I've better now have come on here. There you go. Karen Houghton's passport expired years ago, so she's got to get one again. So don't forget, everyone, if you've got one, just renew it, because one day you'll go, I want to do something, and
it just gets hard. And that would be for me too. I would have to start with my birth certificate, I think parents' marriage certificate. Did you have to get that? Then your marriage certificate. I don't know about whether you need the children's. Well, I got my kids' passports when they were young, and they've kept the passports up. So some days are diamond, some days are stone. Liz Ball, that is fantastic. Oh, Sue, I just love it, Sue. You're not registered. Where were you born, love? In a hospital? If you can remember where you were born, there will be a birth certificate somewhere for you. I think you're an Aussie. But if you're having trouble, I think you need to ring them and people will guide you through it. Is that right, everybody? With passports. I know I have a friend that works, doesn't work in immigration, but he works for DFAT. So you were born in Melbourne, Sue. Well, somewhere in Melbourne there will be a um, a birth certificate. Please don't panic. It'll be something little, like maybe a nut. Sometimes, like my cousin, can I tell you? We celebrated her birthday. You know, Pam, I talk about her a lot. We celebrated her birthday on the 22nd of December. No, 23rd. All of our lives, 23rd. She had to get a bloody birth certificate, not when she was getting a passport. And guess what? Yeah, she was born on the 22nd. So she was born just before midnight, but her mother said it was the 23rd. So we've been celebrating her birthday on the 23rd all her life. But no, on her birth certificate, it was the 22nd. So there you go. So there you go. Sue might have been born near you, Liz. Yeah. Oh, yeah, but Sue's got births, deaths, and marriages in Melbourne. But that shouldn't matter. Oh, how come you're deceased on your electoral roll, love? Oh, I like that one. I think we've got a case of identity fraud here. What do you reckon about that? You'll sort it out. But don't panic because the more you panic, the less it happens. Anyway, everyone, I've got to go. She doesn't exist. Funny about that. Now I want to know something, Sue. If you can't find your birth certificate, how come you registered your own kids' births? Doesn't make sense. They've done something. And when did you die, Dal? Was that before or after the children? Anyway, everyone, I've got to go. I love your guts too, Virginia. Don't worry, Sue. It will sort out eventually. It's just a pain in the ass. Anyway, everyone, got to go. Bye.